before we get into it, we're going to talk for just a brief second because we might have an issue. My work everyday challenge, I did it. I worked at least a little bit every single day. We talked about that last week. I can't work, 8 or 10 hours every single day just because I have to take care of mostly things with the kids and, other stuff. I'm the other stuff person since my husband is the main breadwinner at this point. But I did, and it was awful. It was as far as doing like a full week of grocery delivery, it's the worst week I have had, and I have done it for 20 months now. I kind of thought it would be not necessarily the week, but November. I thought November is going to be rough, maybe December, because of the government saying that they are not issuing SNAP dollars. There are a lot of people who receive SNAP funds who get grocery delivery, and Walmart receives 25% of all food stamp dollars. So basically, kind of tell orders are going down, but this week it was like an implosion. It wasn't an explosion, it was an implosion. So the number of orders going out were fewer, like dramatically so. And I get out and go super early in the morning. So typically I can grab like two of them right away in the 6 o'clock hour and then bang out like 1 or 2 more 7 o'clock hour. Come 8, 9 o'clock, it slows down because more drivers start arriving out to drive. I think there's a combination. There are fewer people ordering groceries and there are more people out driving. I firmly believe that is what's taking place. I think people are out driving more for a couple of reasons. Either one, they lost their benefit, or two, they're like our household where that's someone's contribution to the household, which, has gone down since the number of orders are going down. So like a vicious cycle, right? The worst week sparking ever, at least for the number of hours spent. It's horrible. I did in October, because I suspected that might happen, I did apply for a temporary position. And that orientation was actually supposed to start today, this afternoon. But the lady texted me and said the person doing orientation called in sick. So now I have to wait till Friday. But I'll be out there trying to spark in the meantime. We're going to start right here at the last week of October. And you can see that the haircut didn't take place. Whoops. Oh well. I've got it over here correctly. So we're rolling that $35 over here, which changes the $988 to $1,024. You can see we pulled out the checking cushion. Savings was actually $489.40 because that gas purchase came in at $26.44. And then we have our holiday savings. And then I added the haircut right there because that's going to be rolled over. So down here, our savings total, and then our leftover is $35. And coming over here, you can see all my grocery funds, and we had $33 left over. I did not do a grocery haul video. I thought I was recording, and I wasn't. So anyway, bumped that, sorry. And then here's our November calendar. It's really no different, than October. There's nothing special taking place in November. Over here is kind of where I have some stuff, some important dates. We just have my birthday and Thanksgiving. So nothing crazy going on over there. Savings. We have $1,078 left to fund to hit that $2,500 savings replenishment goal. Our October income ended up being $6,818. And then our income goal for November is still $5,500, even with some potential challenges. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. My grocery budget this week is going to be $175. So I had $208. And yesterday I spent $89.40. So we'll just say $90 at Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee had their baking sale, and their buy one boneless ham, get a free turkey sale. So I did that. And I have that recorded. So when I do go grocery shopping and put up that video this week, that smaller haul will start out the grocery video. Okay, let's take a peek over here. And see, the cushion is $335 because we're rolling over $35 for that haircut. That did not take place. Our regular income was $1,116 and some change. So that is lower than normal because my sparking was short by, I was at about half of my weekly goal. That's it, half, going out every single day. And that is with throwing in DoorDash and Grubhub. I'm telling you, it was rough. And then business income at about 237 or 237 that I'm pulling out to include in our weekly budget. So we're working with, including the cushion, $1,688 and some change. So let's just go ahead and start tracking some stuff. Well, budgeting some stuff. All right, so we're going to do a quarter of the mortgage, since it's just a 4 paycheck month for us. So that is going to be $353. And since I already have like the food going on over here, that's going to be right there. Let's go over here because there are things that absolutely have, like I have to pay today. Our electric bill, $305.07. That's not just, I put it down as electric. It's not just electric. It's electric, sewer, water, trash. So it's quite a few things. $305.07. And then we also have our Ameren gas bill. And that is on level billing. But I am increasing it a little bit. Normally it's 72. I'm going to pay 80 each month because Ameren raised their electric rates by a lot for people that have Ameren Electric. I think it was like 30% to fund all those like data centers. Gas-wise, they raised by 12%. So I'm just tossing a few extra bucks there. I just don't want to end up, I forget what they call it. The period where they come through and they say, hey, you're over by this much or short by this month or whatever. I just don't want to end up like hundreds of dollars short when that time comes. Okay, so we still have $555.09. And then we have the haircut. So we have to get my little guy in. And my husband needs his haircut too. So that's now going to be about $70. And there's that. I used to cut their hair in the past. My clippers are really dull, and I'm okay at it, but it is not the same thing as having like somebody who knows what they're doing do it. All right, so we have $485.09. Let's take a peek over here at the week where it's the week where we had a lot of stuff come out. So we could do, go ahead and pay the car. That would be amazing. Do that. So we'll do the vehicle loan. Vehicle loan. 2010. We still have $175.09. Go back over here. Look. We can't do the ed trip, the gym. Well, I mean, we could go ahead and fund the gym and the instrument. Do that. 38. Instrument. 41. Where we left that there. 9609. And there's nothing down here. That is really, there's nothing down here that we could take care of with that full amount. Actually, there's that. But that doesn't come due till down there, and I just don't like. And then there's that. Okay, so there's nothing that I can fully pay. The Straight Talk I could, but that bill has not, it's not there for me to just go in and pay. You know what I mean? Like I have to wait on that one. And I don't like money sitting there like that. That drives me crazy because I don't want to have to roll it like I have this right here. Like I have the haircut. I don't want to have to like roll it and roll it and roll it. So let's do some math here real quick. Hey, look at that. That's why I always double check. We're down to 1609. We're going to stop there. So our leftover 1609. And that's actually 31609. Because I was not running the numbers with that extra 300. And this is where things end up. We have 1372.07 for our total expense, and then we have 316.09 left over. So we'll pull that up here. 316.09, and some of that is the checking cushion. 300, and then we have 1609 left. And I always tentatively put that extra into savings. You know, we will see what happens. So if something over here goes awry and we have something unexpected occur, we have that little bit of savings right there to dip into. And, you know, if something bigger than that happens, then we have the cushion. Of course, we do have, you know, the savings if something much bigger happened. That is where that sits. That's where week one is sitting. I'm really happy that we were able to get kind of further down the line and hit some of those bigger expenses that will be coming out next week. That gives me quite a bit of security. I'm hoping that like Spark last week was just a fluke. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I am wrong, and I hope that it was just a fluke. But at any rate, I have that seasonal job starting. Really disappointed that it's not starting this afternoon, but I don't have any control over that. So I'm gonna go in Friday, and I guess just have, you know, a week's less work there than I would have. That's where things sit. I feel like, again, we're going into the month strong, considering how bad this week was. Fingers crossed for next week. Fingers crossed that the horrible week at Spark was just a complete fluke. I hope that November has started very strong for you guys.